Hello and welcome to the Zio Studio Buzz podcast. My name is Doug and I am coming to you from Albuquerque in the beautiful desert of New Mexico, where I have just deleted what I have already recorded by accident and where I just have to re-record. And since it's getting so dark and darker and darker, I decided I'm gonna set up a light. I'm gonna also sit by the window so hopefully you can better enjoy this. And because I don't think it would have been, the light would have worked still in this room. I have the last segment where I talk about some new shop stuff. That's where I have with the old light, but it was fine initially when I started recording, but then more and more snow started coming down, and I guess the clouds came down more and more. And I actually, to be honest, this is a spot in the house that I love. Or I should say in my room. This is my studio, my indoor studio, not my dye studio, but where I have my computer, and this is where normally my sewing machine is. But right now it's either the sewing machine or my writing desk, either sewing or writing. But it's a beautiful spot because also there's a bird house out there, and the little birdies sit there and nibble, and they're very happy that they have food out there. It's kind of cute. It's nice. It's so nice to watch. Yeah. But on to knitting. It's an episode of all the finished things. I don't know how this happens because I'm the queen of starting things, and because I work on a whole array of things, nothing ever gets done. But now I focused on two things, which is my sweater and my Bubbles of Joy shawl. So indeed they got done, and I'm so thrilled about this sweater because it's just perfect right now. I mean, even in the house at times, I am cold enough to wear it. Right now by the window, perfect, not too hot. So, yeah, I've talked about this so much. I've used 4.5 millimeter needles. I don't want to go into detail again, but just to refresh, or for everyone who's possibly new, I am super happy with using the handspun yarn. This is a pattern by Knitosophy on Instagram is her name, Jamie, and it's called the Rattlesnake. And I decided to use the handspun, and it was a little bit tight on the yarn. I have to reach over, but I had enough for everything. Sorry, I already put it in this little baggie. So this is how I keep my leftovers. They're in a bin that's labeled leftovers from projects or something. And so that if I ever need to fix something in the right yarn, then I know where it is, and that's why I bundle these up. But even though I must say this yellow, I've loved this yellow so much, if I ever can think of another purpose, I would steal some and just keep a little bit in here. Yeah, very, very pleased with it. And the handspun sometimes is very textured when you knit with it, but in this case I washed it, and then I put it in my washing machine just to drain the water, and I hand washed, and then I drained the water with the washing machine, and it has a high spin cycle that I used, and that way that was good because then it dried fairly quickly and I was super happy. Yeah, let me toss this away and grab the next finished. Yeah, I've loved the sweater since it's done. It's been done about a week and I've been wearing it a lot. Also, a lot of times when it wasn't quite that cold. I wore it as a kind of like a jacket when I had to run an errand to grocery shop or go to the post office, and it was just fine when you don't really need to walk outside much, and not as thin as a fingering weight sweater. Just really perfect. It's such a nice pattern, and I'm getting a lot of compliments, of course. And it's, you know how it is, it's sometimes it's hard. I don't know if you know that. We don't want to brag with what we make, even when we're so proud of it. And I never wanted to do color work, and then it just happened after all. It's one of those things where I said, oh no, I don't think I'll ever do that. And then I did it. But when people say, hey, oh wow, I love your sweater, my tendency is to not say that I made it, but just to say thank you. But why not? Yeah, I made it. I'm dang proud of it. I mean, I don't say that, but I could. Yeah, it was just one of the things that I thought about in, yeah, on my outings. Yeah, and then the Trail Runner hat. The hat is done, and I put one of my pom-poms on. I turned out that the red and black pom-pom, the red was too orange and it did not work with this yarn. Ooh, now the light is too bright, my lamp. Does that work? Oh yeah, I think it's okay. Can you see it okay? Yeah. I just love how it turned out. And I had a photo shoot with my daughter. She was here for a week because she had to get her wisdom teeth out. And I was hoping to get that done with her. The pattern is written. The name is Trail Runner Hat. And the last thing is I need to do is I caught one mistake. And now I have to correct that on the computer. And also, of course, I need to put a picture in of the hat. And you may say, wow, what needle size is that? Yes, it's 5.5 millimeter needles for the tubular cast on, and then you switch to 6 millimeters, and then you switch to 7 millimeters. And that's better. And the thing is that I didn't have 5.5 millimeter needles. And so that's why my edge is not quite perfect. However, I will show you how it looks like on me, and you're going to say, oh, that's not noticeable. But still, it would be, I mean, in the pattern, I have it corrected. Yeah, I did it with the same needle size as this. Of course, you don't need to do a tubular cast on. You can just do any cast on. The pattern, I will have a little bit of a, it will have a little bit, what's the word? Man, I don't know. I will have a little bit of a fee for the pattern, a small one, because it's writing a pattern is just very time consuming. And but if you ever order this yarn, which is Zia Wool's Big and Bulky, I have 8-ounce skeins in the shop right now. If you order that, you will get the pattern for free. And one skein should give you 2 hats. I don't make any promises. For me, it worked, and you see me looking around, I'm trying to locate that leftover ball of yarn. This is what I had left over from two hats. No. So I knitted the largest size, and anybody who knits looser than I do could probably get away with knitting medium or small. I think it looks good. Of course, I do. That goes without saying. I wouldn't have made it if I didn't like this style of hat. Trail runner hat. The plan is to have this up on Ravelry by the weekend. And I haven't decided on a code yet, but for 1 week I will have the pattern available on Ravelry as a free pattern. And I'm going to put the code on the screen. I haven't come up with a good code, but by the time I edit this, hopefully I will have. Trail runner hat. Okay, and then as I said, there's more that I got done. And this is my Bubbles of Joy. Yeah, it just turned out so nicely after the blocking, as I expected, how the lace opened up. It's just, ooh, here you see it well. Yeah, I really like the lace section, and I'm not going to talk too much about this because I've already, if you want more details about yarns and stuff, please check out the last episodes. I want to get this episode filmed while my lighting lasts, and you can probably see that it's getting darker and darker. But I wanted to mention I have four colors and 4 blocks of honeycomb stripes per color +1. My size is a little bit, I made it a little bit larger compared to the model on Ravelry, Bubbles of Joy. I also did not make any bubbles at the edge. I'm bubble lazy, but I'm probably gonna make myself a pom-pom of my leftover yarns and attach that to one corner. Down here, the stripy section, she suggested how to do it and which colors to use. I just wanted to make my own thing, and also wanted to use more of that beautiful orange, so I got 2 rows of that here, and here after that beautiful Direful Yarns stripe. And this is Zia Wool's Ice Rain on Roadrunner. I think there's one more in the shop. And what else? I brought my leftovers to show you. So the green, I have just about 22 grams left, a small ball, that teal color. And with the way I did my honeycomb stripes, I have used of the first color 14 grams. Of the second color, I cannot say because I used that for the stripes at the end as well, and it was quite a bit more left. I used some of this for the mini skein sets that I will tell you about later. My orange, barely anything, 5 grams. And my, oh no, this was the third color, which was Art Yarns Merino Cloud. I have 82 grams left. And then the very last color, also in addition to what I used for the honeycomb stripes, I also have that fat stripe in the very last section. I used 20 grams of this. So apart from those 2 main colors, you don't need too much yarn. I mean, just don't rely on what I've used. because yet again, you may need looser and you may use more yarn. I did want to show you real quick how I wear this baby because it's so crazy big, and I know that some people have trouble with it. I start with the not so important end, and then I wrap it around twice, and then yeah, something like this, or this end I can tuck either under here, or I could also tuck it in here, of course. But whatever works. I'm not very complicated with that. I know some people really need to make it perfect. I feel that this is one where it's best if you wrap it in front of a mirror just to make sure it shows the way you want it to, which is especially this section, and also of course the lace. Just gotta fudge a little bit with that. Yeah. Whoa. Just a really, really very well written pattern. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but I was even able to carry all of these colors in the last section. So I carried the orange because it has an I-cord edge. And then also I carried the ice train from here to there. Yeah. Definitely a favorite. And then my thoughts were, well, this worked out great. You stuck with your sweater, you stuck with your shawl, you had a little bit of a, you know, when you got bored, you just picked up the other one. That worked out great. So let's do this again. So I have, if you remember, you may not remember because I barely remember. That's how long ago that was that I've knitted on that. I have a yellow sweater and I have a yellow triangular shawl, which are really nice projects. So I thought, hey, let's tackle those next. But what happened was that I had something sitting on the floor that was kind of like this little seed in my head where I thought, I could make up a pattern and to make up a sweater pattern, which was actually would be a really great and fun and fast knit. And let me grab my basket because I left it over there where I filmed the first. Ancient stash. I kept it all in this basket, and we are talking about a Joann's yarn that I had in a lot of colors because I made these super cute little cardigans for little girls when my daughter was about 10, maybe 8 to 10, and I made it for her and for her cousins and for my cousin's daughter, and it was just a quick and easy knit. And the plus of this yarn is just that it's extremely soft, and that's what the girls always loved. The yarn I checked the other day, I was stopped at Joann's and they don't carry it anymore. I mean, this is a long time ago. But I liked all the colors they had. Don't know why I bought brown, but maybe it was on sale. Also, I had still a lot of leftovers. Yeah. adjust the lamp a little bit more. Ha, that's better. So that was my personal favorite. I remember that so well. All the colors, turquoise, orange, pink, green, yellow, everything. So I had these 3 colors where I thought, wow, I should make something in 3 blocks of color. And okay, the pink, that medium shade, and this dark one. And when she was home and that basket was sitting right here where I walk by a lot. And so I thought, hey, let's just do this right now. Let's see how fast I can get it done. Let's see if I can get it done before she leaves. She came on a Monday and left on a Monday. And I started and I held it together with this black yarn that has a little bit of a glitter that I don't know the content of this. It was thrifted at some point. I had quite a bit and I thought, that's thin, it should be fine. And I still have a lot. That would probably still be fine with the whole sweater, or even 2 most likely. So, and I started like this. So this is both yarns together. And then when I came to this, I did not like it at all after that pink. So I threw that out and decided on this instead. And I must say, if you are interested at all and your name is not Eileen, I suggest you turn on the German podcast and just scroll through and find the section where I'm actually wearing the sweater with one sleeve. And the reference to Eileen, because Eileen, hi, she's pretty much my neighbor. She is in Santa Fe now, and it cracked me up because the other day she did leave a comment saying, I watched the German podcast, and I know she doesn't speak any German, so that was so funny. Oh, yeah. I think she saw the whole one, too. You believe that? Yeah. You're funny, Eileen. Okay. Back to the sweater. That got me completely distracted. So that was then the middle section, and on the bottom I used this, and I have just 2 bits of this left. And the thing was that I did have to weigh my yarn, and my sleeves turned out not fully long, not full length. They end about here, but it's okay because if she wears it where the large neck opening where it slides off her shoulder, it goes down to her wrist. So all good. And what else? Oh yes, I had to actually, I probably would have gotten it done even earlier, but I had to rip back because what happened was large neckline, and then I kept knitting, and I was actually even very worried about the big neck opening, so worried that after I had gone a little bit further, I picked up my stitches and did my neck binding, because I just had to see if it was still wearable, which it was. So I continued, and by the time I cast on 6 stitches under the arms, and by the way, did I say that already? 10 millimeter needles, so really fat needles. I don't have them here, but I mean, it's really big needles, and that's why I got it done so fast. So when I cast on my 6 stitches here, and I put it on, it was just too big. It was just too low for my taste. I personally, I don't like that so much when it goes super low, and I didn't know what she would think of that. So I thought, okay, you're going to take the time, you're going to rip it back, you're not going to regret it because you're going to make it right. And that's what I did. And I ripped it, I kept the width of the body and the sleeves, but I cast on, and that gives you an idea of how much I ripped back. I cast on 14 stitches under the arms instead. It's still kind of low, but not as bad as before. And yeah, I really like it. And now the plan is, and this will happen also fairly quickly. I will write up the pattern. I am just not decided on a yarn yet, and I have some ideas. And I brought some yarn I will use for the body this, and have it going with this. And then I have dyed a green, a lime green, which is still wet. That's probably going to make the block in the center. But let me tell you what this is, because I do want a yarn that has some warmth, but not too much, because it is going to be, you know, a thick fabric. But this one has 35% bamboo, and it's from Quillian Fiber Arts, my neighbor in Las Cruces in New Mexico. I bought this a good while ago when we were there, and I visited the store. So I have 3 of that, even though I keep thinking, is this even the same? Can you see? It has more orange. I will have to check, but I could, oh yes, also that purple. I don't see that there. I feel like I had 3 skeins of that, so I may have to go stash diving again. But it's definitely her yarn as well. And then, so I'm thinking gonna use 3 yarns together again. This is Suri Alpaca Silk Blend, but not dyed by me, but by a fellow dyeing friend. This is her shop. Oh, I'm going to read it to you. Her shop name is Purple Lamb. And I think I got that from her last year in Windsor, 2 years ago. No, last year at the knitting retreat in Winslow, which would have happened again just now. But yeah, so let's see where we are right now. And then I'm thinking, I do like that element of glitz, where I did the black on my daughter's sweater. But for this one, I am considering this. Come a little bit closer. Can you see? It's, of course, very shiny with the light right at it, but still it's the shiny element comes from Silk and Selena. Let's see. Fair Trade Reclaimed Silk Waste Yarn. 300. See, it has 300 yards. That's all it says. Silk waste yarn. That must have been old. Darn good yarn. I believe I scored this also at a thrift store. So the idea is, yes, this one is not the same, but yet again, I can easily, you know, because there will be blocks of colors, so I could easily fudge that. Can you tell I'm a fan of glitter? I also like this. Makes me laugh. But, oh yeah. Honestly, this, I don't think it's going to be enough. And then it's going to be, I don't want it to be so, what's the word? It would really stand out quite a bit. And if I have nothing similar, I don't know that that's going to work. However, this may be enough, but it doesn't really work with the colors I pulled out. I don't know. Not decided. I'm probably going to knit a few samples and see how I like things. And we may have come to the end. I hope that all my shop news are in that other segment that I had filmed earlier. So the sets are going to be sampler sets, and which means they are going to contain most of my fingering weight yarns. Roadrunner singles, Superwash Corriedale nylon blend, Dreamcatcher 2-ply, which is a merino nylon superwash blend, Sundancer, which is a bit of a lighter merino nylon superwash, and Sandia, which is a bit of a plumper merino nylon superwash sock yarn. And Roadrunner is the only one that is 100% merino. And these two are in here because I don't have enough of every single colorway, so there will be a little bit of different color options coming once these are wound and tagged, which always takes quite some time. But here, sorry, this is probably crinkly. So here is a sample of what the ones look like that are currently in the shop. I'm going to come a bit closer. And a little bit of a nice thing that I have planned is that every single set of these sampler sets will have also a 10-gram sample of honeysuckle. And you may remember that honeysuckle is just one of our new favorite bases with cashmere and silk and such a beautiful sheen. And I will use this one for the extra mini skein that comes with every 10 mini skein, with every mini skein sampler set. So I will add a 10-gram set. Gosh, it's hard to talk sometimes, isn't it? Yeah, I love this color. It's a new colorway. There will then be one of these coming also to the shop in honeysuckle, and it's called Arctic Blues. And the same colorway will also be on different bases in the shop, but they're not 100% dry. That's why they're not there yet. But I'm gonna give you a quick run through everything that's in the shop currently. And I hope you'll find something that you like, because I kind of love them all. As usual, you know me, I dye the things that I love. In Time, on Sundancer, Roadrunner, and Sandia. And this is not too loud. This is called Better Days on Sundancer. 3 of that going to the shop. And then here is Secret Garden on Honeysuckle. And honeysuckle, that's the one that I told you about, which is the one that I love so much with cashmere and silk. And this one is, yeah, this is a one of a kind. I have 2 of it. It's Roadrunner, and the one of a kinds, I call them lucky dogs. And this is, they have, sometimes I give them additional names just so I know for sure what it is. And this one has the additional name Garden, so it's called Lucky Dog Garden. And this one is Heart of Gold on Sandia. I have 3 of this. And then I have, it's also a Lucky Dog one of a kind, which has also the name Sunny. There was another similar one that didn't have the orange yellow in it. I love this one. Wow. Oh, it's getting darker and darker. I hope you can see this okay. And here we have a Lucky Dog with the extra name Purple. 3 of that. And here is Chama, which is my 8-ply cabled sport weight yarn that I like so much because of the 8-ply cabled. It's just such a nice and beautiful base, and I have used it for socks. I have used it for hats. It's just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful yarn. And this is called just Lucky Dog. Yeah, I hope you can see this okay. The fading light of this. Well, and we have come to the end. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sorry I had to rush a little bit because it's just getting darker and darker. And I hope you all stay safe and warm outside out there. And I hope you enjoy whatever you're working on, and stay healthy. And until I see you again, happy knitting.